Today we will be taking a look at what the Black Codes were, who was involved, and when they occurred. I will first begin by introducing you to the topic, followed by several interviews for the purpose of discerning public opinion on the topic. The Black Code laws were passed in many southern states following the end of the Civil War in 1865. They were an attempt at a solution by the state government to curb the problems created by an addition of over 4 million black U.S. citizens who had no jobs, homes, or possessions. States employing these methods were Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and Louisiana, Virginia, Florida, Tennessee, and North Carolina. Examples of the Black Codes were limits on voting rights for black men, vagrancy laws specifically enforced against black individuals, and many other such problems, many of them which lasting up to 1924. That being said, it is time we gauge the modern opinion of the Black Code laws in the 19th century.
How do you feel about this facet? Do you think uneducated people are more easily manipulated than educated people?
I believe so.
Okay.
You want me to explain or
You
yes
feel free to explain if you want. If you don't want to, that's fine.
Okay. So lack of education causes people not to be dumb, as some people might say, but they're just ignorant of several facts. It prevents them from making educated decisions and calculated choices. So
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Do you feel that it is important that people are educated in order to vote, hold office, sue people, or hold a jury position?
I do believe that everyone should be able to vote as long as they qualify to vote, because voting should not be a case where education takes precedence. Voting is simply a regular American right. However, politicians can and will manipulate uneducated people to make poor decisions by voting for them. They will offer unrealistic goals and expectations in their manifestos. When they do that, they become gullible, so they do whatever is required. Just like you can give someone like $100 and be like, vote for me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So those things can be an issue if the proper channels aren't taken, by that person to know who he's voting for and who it will eventually affect. Will it affect his kids 10 years time? Will it affect his life, his health care? Will his health care be removed? You know what I mean? So stuff like that is important. A person who is uneducated, they might be able to see the logics and pick out sense from, nonsense when they're voting. However, being uneducated, sometimes that's not the case, but they should be able to vote.
Okay. And this is my last question. It's a little unrelated to the first two, but how do you feel about being jailed for vagrancy and working to pay off public fines?
So that's a very touchy topic, because whenever someone is jailed, it sometimes prevents them from getting employment, and it's on your record. However, it depends on what the case is. So I'll take it case by case, to be honest, and case by case basis.
Well, thank you for your time.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome. All the best.
Alright, I'm going to ask you just one question today.
Okay.
How do you feel about being jailed for vagrancy?
Define vagrancy.
Vagrancy is when you're not self-supporting, maybe homeless, don't have a job, that kind of thing.
How do I feel if I were?
If you were jailed for it.
I think I would feel more worse than I would be when I'm
Yeah.
homeless.
Would it help anything?
I know that it does help with getting food and shelter,
Right.
maybe for the night, but I think you shouldn't be jailed simply because you're homeless. That is a waste of resources when we can be putting it into action.
Do you mind if I ask you another question?
Sure.
Related? How do you feel about working to pay off say something like a speeding ticket You stole something, just something small, you would have had to pay off otherwise.
Working it off.
Yeah.
I think that would be a great idea. Because I think if that were the case, if people were working to pay off the tickets, we could gain more self-confidence and actually do a job or skills for a job. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for your time. Appreciate your.
Thank you. So our first question is, do you think that people should be jailed for vagrancy? Just opinion on that?
Being a vagrant?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. And so do you think that people should be forced to work out fines, such as like a speeding ticket, stuff like that? They should have to work it off instead of pay it?
Forced to?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. And then just one other question. Do you think that uneducated people are easily manipulated?
They can be.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Question for you is: do you think people should be jailed for vagrancy, or should have to work out fines?
Say that again?
Should people be jailed for vagrancy, or should they have to work out fines in relation to like Civil War times? Because that's why we're asking about that.
So, I mean, that's kind of a little bit of a loaded question, but there's different options for different crimes, I think.
Mhm.
You know, I
Yeah.
think the severity of the crime makes a lot of the difference.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a double-edged sword. I think, you know, maybe property crimes, more of the lower level crimes might be a
Okay.
little bit better for paying things off, but, you know, there's a couple different things.
All right, thank you. Second one was: do you think uneducated people should be allowed to vote, hold office, sue people, or hold jury?
What do you mean by uneducated people?
People who have not gone through a high school education or equivalent.
No, I believe they should. It's
Mhm.
their constitutional rights to do
Okay.
things like that. Just because they're uneducated in something doesn't mean that their opinion doesn't matter.
Okay, cool. And my final one is do you think that uneducated people are easily manipulated?
Yes and no. A lot of that falls onto the individual themselves.
Mhm.
Being in this line of work, I've experienced a lot of different people, come across a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And I don't think uneducated people, or the term uneducated is what the problem is.
Okay.
It could just be the style of who the person is being manipulated. There's a lot of different ways that people are manipulated, whether it's drug use, money, and things like that. So,
Yeah. Really appreciate you.
yeah, man.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Thank you. All right, basically we made it to the Vertex and wrapped up our interviews. The general consensus of the population is most people disagree with Confederate views during the Civil War, and we've basically wrapped it up and decided that almost everybody doesn't agree. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it.